with 60 days of toxic truths. And we're finally to day 30, which means we are halfway through. So that's super exciting. If you missed yesterday's live, today, yesterday, the next 2 weeks, we are moving into mindset. So, of the 60 days, we're breaking it down into 4 segments. And that is nutrition for 2 weeks, which we started with, the body for 2 weeks, which we followed that with. And now we're on mindset and the mind and our mental game, because there's a lot of toxicity there. That's for sure. So if you missed my live yesterday, I kind of previewed today's, spoiler alert on today's. And the simple hack that I use, that I teach all of my students for toxic thought patterns and just awareness. So it starts with awareness. It starts with, just observing and being the witness to the mental chatter and what's going on inside our brain. Because as I said yesterday, we have 80,000 thoughts a day. And of those 80,000 or so thoughts a day, some of us have more, some of us have less, but not much less or not much more. That's an average. 80% or more sometimes, a little less sometimes too, but that's an average. 80% of our thoughts are negative, judgmental, analytical, and sometimes just straight up self-sabotaging. So, toxic thought patterns can include overgeneralization, kind of the all or nothing, labeling, judgment, jumping to conclusions, catastrophizing, blaming, emotional reasoning, shoulding. I always say don't should on yourself, shoulding. This is just a long list here, and I'm not going to read them all. But fear, right? They all come from fear, which I love the acronym false evidence appearing real. So it's love or above in the world of positive mindset. So if you recognize a thought that isn't love or above, it's fear. And those internal saboteurs that I talked a little bit about yesterday from the book that we read last month in our personal growth book club that we're doing, which you can join as well, is there's judgment, there's 8 saboteurs, and they're constantly running our show, controlling us, making us hypervigilant, setting us up as the victim, the poor me, right? So I'll talk a little bit more about the 4 archetypes that we use in our class, the Manifesting with Synchronicity class, which we've changed the name a little bit, but it's the same class. There's a few tweaks. It's on Udemy now. We just launched it. So if you don't follow me on andykennedyco.com or Andy Kennedy Co. in Facebook, then you can follow me there and see some of those announcements on our class that's coming up. So, I'll talk about those down the road too. Our 4 primary control dramas that they're called. So look for that in the coming weeks. But the hack. So I'm going to give you the hack for today. And again, I'll explain this, put this a little bit more in depth on the Facebook group, but set up your phone every day for a week to remind you. 3 or more times a day is better. 1 is fine, but the more you observe your brain throughout the day, the more you can recognize what's going on in there and make some changes. So set up your phone for a reminder. I'd pull up my phone and show you, but of course it's doing the recording. Pull up your calendar, whether that's Google Calendar or iCal, and make a announcement in your phone. Make a calendar reminder in your phone to say, what am I thinking right now? And if that pops up at 8 a.m., noon, and 8 p.m., then you'll recognize, okay, you'll see that pop up and you go, what am I thinking right now? And is that thought a positive thought? Or can that be described a negative thought? And if it can be described as a negative thought, write it down. Don't judge it, because that's judgy mind, right? Don't judge it. Just write it down. And after a week, if you do that every day, 3 times a day, you'll have over 20 different thought patterns that you can look at and go, okay, I'm going to take the summary of these. And whether that's never enoughism or disqualifying the positive. I love that. If you get a compliment, what's your first thought? Like, oh, no, no, no. right? That's a negative thought. That's a negative thought pattern. And wanting to reprogram those just for the only purpose of bringing more happiness and peace into your life and distilling that negative mind down so more of your experiences are positive. So, the second week of this hack, of this experiment, is that you're going to look at all of those and you're going to flip the script on three of them. So, the three that repeat themselves the most, or in a category that repeats itself the most, such as, negative self talk, right? A positive hack would be, I am loved. I am perfect as I am. Okay. So you're going to program that in your phone for the AM, the 8 a.m. one. And then the second and third one, you'll program in your phone for 12 and 8 p.m. So the second week, you're not observing the mind. You're just going to let those affirmations pop up, and then repeat them to yourself for about a minute. I am loved. I am perfect as I am. I am loved. I am perfect as I am. Close your eyes, ground yourself, feel into that. So that's our hack for today. That's our tip for mindfulness for today. I urge you to do it. And if you do it, please reach out to me and let me know how it goes, because I love whenever my students say, oh my gosh, this totally helped me have awareness around what my brain is doing throughout the day, and how many programs that we pick up from society, from our family, from our friends, from our loved ones, from our work environment, right? So, yeah, thank you for watching. That's our hack for today. I hope you do it. I hope you take that to heart. And thanks for tuning in as many times as you do. I know a lot of you are watching this, so thank you. And I hope that you get as much out of mindset as you've gotten out of body and nutrition. And we keep going. I hope you stick through the next segment, which is home, and talk about those toxins as well. But the next 2 weeks, we're talking about mindset. And that's my sweet spot, my wheelhouse. So thanks for watching. Love you guys. See you tomorrow.